Since my last video, I ended up going home and unfortunately decided to quit the trail. Once I realized I wasn't going to be doing the Sierra this year or even make it to the northern terminus in time, I sort of lost my motivation to complete the trail this year. But after spending a week or two at home, I realized I wanted to return to the trail because I felt as though my hike wasn't over. When I think of all the places I wanted to hike on the PCT, what always came to mind for me was the Sierra and the state of Washington and how beautiful those places were. And since I'd already decided I wasn't going to do this Sierra because it was probably going to be too dangerous for me, I decided to fly over to Washington to at least complete that state and even get to the northern terminus. So the first week on trail was fine, and I was loving being in a new environment, and I was really excited to be on trail in another state, and everything was great. But once I ended up going into town to resupply and to get a little bit of rest, I ended up accidentally falling in my hotel room and ended up breaking my middle finger on my right hand. And I went to the ER just, to check and see if, it did break or not. The ER did determine that I had a fracture in my finger and I was going to need to keep that finger in a splint for 4 weeks. So with that information, I decided to just take a little bit of time off of trail again and went to the beach to spend a couple of days, and then on the way back ended up stopping at a baseball game in Tacoma, and that's where my pack was stolen. So it was in my friend's car, his pack was in there also, and somebody broke a window and then pulled our packs from the car. If you watch my videos, you'll notice that I keep my tent on the outside of my pack. So luckily my tent wasn't stolen. It looks like when they pulled my pack through the window, a couple of things fell off, and it was my electronics bag, my fanny pack, and the tent. So those are the things that I still have, but other than that, everything else is gone. The pack is gone, my quilt, all the rest of my gear, my sleeping pad, the backpack, my hiking poles, my food bag, all the clothes that I had on for trail are just, they're gone. So at that point, my hike was pretty much over, and I was pretty devastated for a while that my pack is gone, but then decided to take a trip over to Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons, and that kind of lifted my spirits a little bit, but just knowing in the back of my head that my Pacific Crest Trail gear is gone, and that was something that I wanted to keep forever. So sitting with that was pretty devastating for me, but it is what it is. I could buy all that stuff back, and it's probably what I'm gonna do is buy new gear, but it's just that I really wanted to keep that gear forever, and I even kept my first pair of hiking shoes that I started the trail with. And it's a hard pill to swallow to know that in a flash my stuff was stolen. But I also just wanted to really take the time to thank everybody who was really supportive of my through hike at all, specifically my immediate family members, my mom and my older sister, my younger sister, and all of my friends that helped me when I needed help on trail. Just want to give a big thank you to everybody, and I am going to try to do a through hike again, so that is going to be not next year but in the near future, so you could look forward to that.